Welcome back. Well, Mr. Henry Mbadiwe joins us now. He is the Registrar of Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Well, this kind of took the whole world by surprise. The health facilities, many of them just trying to find their feet in containing this. How does CIPM categorize this? I mean, do you refer to this as a regular project or what?
Good morning, all of you. I think this is a very, very peculiar type of project. There's nothing regular about this at all. If you look at the pandemic across the country, you would see that it's a pandemic that no one really knows how to tackle. There's no textbook information on how to deal with this. There is no process on how to deal with this particular pandemic. In fact, the world is still trying to understand it. Now, an individual would define a project as, for example, having a defined start and end date. However, this is not the case with this particular coronavirus pandemic because it has a start date. We know it's going to have an end date. We don't know when that end date is going to be. So you need a particular type of skill set to be able to handle at this particular type of project. So it is a very unique, special kind of project.
We are handling this. I know you've spoken about what needs to be done, how coordination needs to be approached in projects, template, and structure. Does this show that or how difficult it is to actually internalize and eventually operationalize some of those concepts that you've spoken about, if you analyze how we're approaching this one?
Well, to be honest, I think first of all, I would say that the NCDC, the federal government, is doing an amazing job. It is not easy to be able to handle a pandemic like this, and now with this single basket fund in collaboration, the UN in collaboration with the federal government, that brings that expertise in project delivery, project management, being able to look at risk assessments, in the right way, because. This PTF, the Presidential Task Force, has an enormous responsibility to be able to manage the country through this period. Now, my concern, obviously, is that because this is a project, you need to handle it as a project. You need to be able to bring in those project management methodologies and frameworks to be able to manage risks, to be able to manage changes, to be able to mitigate this risk and understand the impact assessment on these changes. Because, you see, we're all dealing with this on the fly. Because of the way this pandemic has happened, we all just deal. If you look at the project delivery phases, we would say we are in an implementation stage. We just got thrown into the implementation stage. Now we're just working on building test centers, working on doing all of this stuff, and just doing a lot of this work. But there are steps that should be done prior to commencement of any project that, because of the specific nature of this pandemic, might have been missed. Now, with the UN coming on board...
We'll return. We'll return and let you give us that part of your submissions in just a moment. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. So, Mr. Mbadiwe, you are making a point about what we might have missed. What could it be?
Well, I do believe that what we might be missing is now sort of being addressed by this particular basket fund, because I've always said that the coronavirus pandemic is not just a health issue; it is actually a project. And I've been saying this on Twitter, long before the UN and Nigeria and the federal government basket fund was established, because I believe that this is a project. Now, with the coming of the UN, and there will be other government agencies, hopefully like ourselves, CIPMN, coming to work, in collaboration with the United Nations and the federal government, sitting on this project board to be able to address all of these project issues. This particular team has the responsibility to do a few things, and amongst those, there is risk management, mitigation, and communication of that risk. There's community management, which is an advanced level of stakeholder engagement in Nigeria. There are the security issues and logistics that would, that would be the center of this entire operation. It is not just a health pandemic. It is a project that needs to be managed effectively. Now, I believe that is being addressed, at the moment. However, the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria is the only accredited project management regulatory institute in Nigeria. And we are taking those steps to help contribute to fighting this particular battle. And I really do believe that the approach that you can see now in Nigeria is the right type of approach to be able to handle this particular pandemic.
Well, so on the one hand, a number of, just as you said at the beginning, this pretty much caught the entire world, all of a sudden, almost hands down, no one seemed to know what to do. But as we go on, a number of things are happening, and just as you said, we're handling it as best as we could. Overnight, 2 states were added, and that's suggesting that there are states that do not have any cases now, and they may just need to be preparing. So from your perspective, what should those states be working on right now to curtail any dangerous spread of this disease?
Yeah, I believe that, I think about 3 years ago, the NCDC started setting up this, I think it's called Public Health Emergency Operation Center, or thereabout, and we have about 23 of this in about the 36 states we have in Nigeria, and they're sort of arms, extension arms of the NCDC in every state, which can actually, carry out whatever is happening in the operational center to these states. However, I believe that apart from the project board team at the central level, you need to have a replication of that in the state level to be able to help with coordination. When you have a project board at the top, so look at this as a program, as a big program, not just one single project, a big program. So a program is a very big project that has tentacles. Now you have a big program at the top, which is what we see now with this particular new project management board, and now you would have look at the states as mini projects, of this particular board. So.
Okay. All right. So we'll hopefully sort that out. But okay, I think we do have him back now. Mr. By the way, could you go ahead and conclude your thought, please?
Yeah. Yes. So you need to have a replication of what you find on the federal level at the states level. So you cannot deliver this project from the center alone. This is the recommendation that the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria will be bringing as a contribution to this particular project board. You need to have what you have in the center at the state levels, and communication is key within the entire program across the entire country, and then also to ensure that whatever risk mitigation strategies that is being implemented or being discussed at a federal level is being cascaded down to the state and local government level. You need to treat it in that way. And I believe that the project management structure is the only way to aid this communication. A lot of pressure is on NCDC, and they need to focus on the medicine. You need to have a separate team dealing with the project.
Right. Now, I see you have largely talked about the coordination at the government level, federal and states. And I understand that for any project to succeed, you need teamwork. Now, I'm not talking about the government's team alone. I'm talking about the people also, because, I mean, there's the government and the people. There shouldn't be any divide. They need to work together. And largely, the role of people will determine whether this is successful or not. I mean, you have orders all around, stay-at-home orders, social distancing and all that, which the people have to abide by, in quote. So in the project management perspective, how do people come in? What should be their mindset towards, achieving success in this project?
Okay. Now the best way to deal with this, which is what I think sometimes is often missed, is to be able to put in place a very good project board and a very good project team. Now, I say this because that project board must be a true representation of the country. For example, it's not just a matter of having the presidential task force and the UN. You need a representation, for example, from various stakeholders. So, we don't just call them the people in projects, we call them stakeholders, which is a representation from everybody or every group that is affected by this particular pandemic. So you would have the federal government's presidential task force, which is a very good representation of the federal government body, and in some way the country. And then you have the United Nations, and then you would have the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria. You would also have a representative from each particular state, for example. And this does not need to be, for example, a state governor, or it might be a local government chairman, it might be someone. But the idea is there needs to be someone also who's very close to the grassroots. And I would suggest, for example, either somebody from the House, if we take the structure of this federal board, and you have other smaller projects in other smaller states, a representation from.
Okay, we do appreciate your thoughts and your time. Henry, by the way, is the Registrar, Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria. Thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. Well, we will be back in a moment. We still have another health perspective on this subject matter. Stay with us.